Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, I'm currently painting my Blood Angels Destroyed tank for my Eldar flyer. I'm doing the red armour, and I thought I would share with you how I do it because I really like how it looks. It's a slightly more modern Blood Angels look, let's say, so I'm avoiding orange highlights, but still getting some nice depth to it. So I'm just ready now to start doing some highlighting. So I'm going to show you how I do that in a minute, but first of all I want you to get to this level, and this is really simple. That's why I haven't recorded me doing it, but effectively what you need to do is get yourself some Mecrite red or Methaston red, which is I think the new equivalent, basically a nice covering red. Go over all the model. Best to do 2 thinner layers than 1 thick layer, but get a nice even coat on there. Now once you've done that and it's all dry, you then want to go over the whole of the armour with a wash. Now either Bow Wash, which was the old one, or this Carabur Crimson Wash, basically a red wash. Go over everything. Make sure that it goes in obviously all the recesses, but you don't want it to pool too much, especially on the big flat armour sections. So just give it a nice wash, make sure it doesn't pool, just spread it out all over, and then once you've done that, let it dry, and it needs to be thoroughly dried, fully dried before you do the next coat. The next coat is good old faithful Devlin Mud, or the new version, which is like the Earth Shade, whatever it's called. Now what you want to do with this one is you want to do a 50-50 mix of Devlin Mud and water. And then go over everything once again, making sure you don't get too much pooling, no air bubbles, just spread it all out nice and evenly. What that does, it gives a dirtier look to the red, and creates all of the shadows. Now once that's fully dry, you want to go back over with the red shade again, not watered down, full strength. And that will bring you up to this stage, and as you can see it looks pretty cool already, but what we're going to do now is we're going to add some highlights to it. So what you need to do is get your paint palette. In this case I'm using a wet palette which I've made, and I'm going to use Blood Red, or once again you can use whatever the new equivalent is. So I'm just going to get a blob of this onto my palette, and I'm going to add just a very small amount of water to this, just to thin it down a little bit. Okay, right, and this is where the fun starts. So what we're going to do is we are just going to bring some bit more light onto this for me so I can see. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically take the armour and we're going to highlight it. So let me start over here where this door is. So I'm going to get some of this paint. I'm just going to run it down the edge like so, and then I'm going to just spread it out. Now the great thing about this is that the reds sort of blend into each other quite easily. It's a great colour to work with. Now as you can see there, I'm spreading it out. I've just wetted my brush so that I can really thin that paint out towards the inside there. Okay, so you can see that working, and let's just do some more just at the top here. So again I'm just going to put the paint on the edge. Going to wet my brush and then just spread that paint out towards the shaded area. Just going to build this up. Now this isn't something you're going to be able to do in just one coat. I would suggest you're probably going to need about 2 or 3 of these coats. So again, it's just a case of spreading that paint out. And as you can see there, it's starting to become quite red, which obviously is the colour we're going for, and of course leaving all of those recesses there with that, all the washes that we've done, means that it's going to be nice and shaded. Let's just start on this section now. This is basically just dry blending, so if you've seen my dry blending video that I did on the scything talons, it's effectively the same technique as that. So now I'm going to go back over to this side, just gradually building up the red. And what this does, as I said, I mean, you can take this one step further. If you like the orange look and the orange highlights, you can add a little bit of orange to this mix, and then you can do an extra highlight to it, or even if you like it really orangey, you could go over this with orange at the end as well. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the orange, so what I try and do is just do this red, and as I said, with all those shadows, it works really, really well. Let's go back over to this section. I've been experimenting with the white balance on my camera. Hopefully it's looking a little bit better than my previous videos were, because as I said, I've changed the white balance. It's quite interesting how some colours are a lot easier to blend than others. Red seems to be perfect colour. Look at that. That is looking awesome. Right, let's do some more work on this section. So I'm just going to do the edge here. And again, I'm just going to spread this up nice and thin. So you're looking to effectively highlight all of the raised areas. As you can see, now I've got used to what I'm doing, I'm getting a little bit more confident, and I'm effectively doing larger areas now. Start small, and then as you get used to it, do bigger sections. And again, I'm going to go back to this one. I like to do it this way, rather than doing one coat on everything and then going in and then doing the second coat on everything. It's nice to be able to do like a bit gradual build up as it dries, and then you can get a good idea of how it's looking and whether you need another coat or not. Now in this case, I would say yes, I do need another coat, so I'm going to do 3 coats. I'm going to go back up over here where we started, and I'm going to do another coat. I've only ever painted blood angels that are dead or destroyed. I've never painted a full-blown blood angel before. Okay, go back over this one. Okay, there you go. So hopefully you can see the effect there. And I said if you wanted to take that to the extreme, you could go in with extra highlights. But the way that we've used the blend and the shadow area, it just pops by itself. There is no need to do more highlights. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working on this, and I shall speed the video up so that you can still see me do it, but yeah, basically I'm going to run out of things to say, so I'm going to stop talking. Okay, so starting to get there now. I've done a couple of coats here and there on everything. I'm just really now going in and just working on those last sections just to brighten up the red. And how bright you want the red to be is obviously just a personal preference. I don't like mine too bright, so you know I'm just going to make sure that I'm spreading this red out nice and thin, moving away from the edges. And obviously if you paint it on a bit thicker, it will go redder as such, brighter. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with the next coats. Okay, there you go. Doesn't that look pretty cool? You have a really nice deep red, lots of shadow, lots of highlights, and no orange. Now, if you really wanted to make this the edges pop as such, what you could do is you could line in the edges with the red. So you could just very carefully just go over the very edges like that, and that will just help make the edges pop. So I'm going to just do that on some of these. I'm still I'm not actually doing edge highlighting, I'm still almost blending the mix into the underpaint. said it's fairly translucent red anyway, so it's pretty easy to do this. It almost has like a natural blend. Okay, there you go. Finished, pretty much finished there. And obviously you can work on that a bit more if you want to, but you can see, especially now I've done those little line highlights there, the armour is really popping. So obviously I've got a lot more work to do. I've got to do the other side, I've got loads of other bits to do as well, but you can actually see, there you go, that's how it started. That is how it's looking. I'm going to obviously weather mine up as well. I shall do a little tutorial on doing some weathering on it as well. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.